House Speaker Paul Ryan has a new plan to deal with economic growth. Now, it's not raising your minimum wage or guaranteeing health care or child care or anything like that. No. His idea to grow the economy is for women to have more babies. In fact, he says that women having babies is one of the most important things that we can do to grow the economy. Watch.
People. This is going to be the new economic challenge for America. People. Baby boomers are retiring. I did my part, but we need to have higher birth rates in this country. Meaning, baby boomers are retiring, and we have fewer people following them in the workforce. We have something like a 90% increase in the retirement population in America, but only a 19% increase in the working population in America. So what do we have to do? Be smarter, more efficient, more technology, still going to need more people. And when we have tens of millions of people right here in this country falling short of their potential, not working, not looking for a job, or not in school getting a skill to get a job, that's a problem.
All right, so that says a couple of things. For one, obviously, he's going right out of the fundamentalist handbook and saying, women, you must become baby factories and have more kids. The second thing is we have to cut entitlements so that those tens of millions of people that are sitting home, which isn't even remotely true, they need to go out and get a job. So we need to cut their food stamps and Social Security benefits, disability, etc., and push them out into the workforce to replace the baby boomers. So that's Paul Ryan, right? That's his argument. You women need to start having more kids, man, because we got to have more economic growth. Now, wait a minute here. So a lot of people can barely afford having the kids that they already have. I mean, for example, it costs more than $40,000 just to deliver a baby if you don't have insurance. So if you're one of the millions of Americans that actually can't afford their insurance, you're not going to be able to afford to have a baby. That's not even to mention the monumental cost of raising kids in America these days. I mean, for example, you need things like healthcare, food, housing, and education, right? According to a 2015 study, the average cost of raising a child in America from birth through the age of 17 is just over $250,000. That is an enormous amount of money, especially considering the average American family makes anywhere from around $30,000 to $50,000 a year on average. The current minimum wage, by the way, that equals to $15,000 a year. But what's Paul Ryan doing, right? I mean, look, he wants more people to have more families, so we can have more traditional families. So mothers, women, get busy, right? You got to have more kids. Well, what's Paul Ryan doing to help those children? Well, he just passed a tax cut where the majority of the benefits goes to the rich. Earlier this year, he tried to repeal the ACA, which actually helped give people health insurance. The Republicans, speaking of health insurance and children, they still haven't funded the Children's Health Insurance Program, CHIP. And oh yeah, the Republican budget that's being debated to avoid a government shutdown cuts Medicaid for children as well as children's education. He's also against affordable child care. On and on and on. Paul Ryan's legislative decisions have proven him to be incredibly anti-family, and yet he wants you to have more babies. No. What he wants is, it seems like he wants to have more people being born into poverty so that they can work for crap wages. But it actually might be more sinister than that. Now, it's true that when he says, hey, look, man, we got a lot of boomers retiring, and we don't have the people to make up for it. It is true that birth rates in the U.S. have been declining, but that's not a bad thing. Some of it is because the teen pregnancy rate has hit an all-time low. That's actually great news. Women who become single mothers at a young age tend not to be as successful as women who wait to have kids, who actually do some family planning. Now, it's not because of anything the mother actually does. It's just at that age you have more structural disadvantages in your way. It's actually one of the hardest jobs to be a single mother in America. And look, even if you're not a single mother, if you're a teen parent, even if you have, the full support of the father, that's still an incredibly difficult situation, and it makes it very, very difficult to rise above that situation. So I'm not going to dismiss how hard it is younger parents have and how much they have to work to catch up. And in a lot of cases, they really can't catch up. So, and yet Paul Ryan, through everything he does legislatively, works to pull the rug out from those people, the people who are the most vulnerable, in order to give tax cuts for the rich. But here's the real motivation, aside from all that. Now, one solution to boomers retiring is, well, okay, why don't we just increase immigration? I mean, that's actually a huge boon for the country. Countries that open up their immigration laws and allow the workforce to be replenished by incredibly hardworking and innovative immigrants, those countries actually do incredibly well. In fact, that's what America used to do back when we were great. But we don't do that anymore. Paul Ryan is actually with Trump on pushing for even less immigration, meaning we don't want brown people. No, what we want is we want more white babies. And obviously that is incredibly horrendous and a very, very racist views, but it matches with other Republicans and what they've actually said. For example, I have Steve King, right? Now, Steve King is an obvious racist, and he has said, quote, "We can't restore our civilization with somebody else's babies." Now, understand that, right? No, it's got to be white babies, right? Because that's our civilization. Our civilization is white. It is Judeo-Christian. We're going to have these brown people coming in from Mexico, coming in from the Middle East. We're okay with white people from Europe. Those guys are great. Come on in. But anybody else is different who's not white and Christian. Well, we don't want you. We don't want your babies. We can't rebuild our white civilization with your babies. No. White women, you need to have more babies. That's what this is about. Despite the evidence that, of course, immigrants often work harder and create businesses. In fact, the founder of the TYT network, he's an immigrant. Without TYT, guess what? I wouldn't have a show. We wouldn't have Apple without immigrants. No iPhone, right? And you know what? We also, without immigrants, wouldn't have Google. So also no show because there would be no YouTube. We wouldn't be here, okay? Immigrants work incredibly hard, and they're very innovative, and they actually create businesses. But no. According to the Republicans, we need less immigrants, more white babies. This is not a dog whistle anymore. We can all hear it. This is open. And here's another component of this that you should find incredibly discouraging and actually really scary, right? They're actually going to make an economic argument for banning abortion. This is what this is. This is an economic argument for banning abortion in America. In fact, recently, Wisconsin State Representative Scott Allen argued on behalf of a bill that would prevent health insurance plans for state employees from covering more abortions. He said, quote, "Labor force shortages are tied to population declines. Labor force shortages are a limiting factor in economic growth. And limited economic growth poses a problem when government tries to pay for public services and infrastructure." So we need to cut public services, by the way, and also ban abortion. He says, "In spite of this, Mr. Speaker, ironically, the Democrats continue their effort to support the abortion industry, which actually doesn't exist." This is a signal to extreme right-wingers who believe in white genocide, right? And we've all seen those people. These people are beyond insane. And here Ryan is saying to them, don't worry, guys. We're going to turn our women, white women, into baby factories. In fact, there's this one guy, Alaska, whatever. He's all like, we should, obviously we should ban all immigrants and we should make all white women have more kids. And also, we should make sure to take the vote away from white women so we can get what we want. Or not from white women, from all women. So let's take the veil away from all women so we can MAGA. No, this is the kind of guy you're appealing to. This is the kind of people that they want. And this is the kind of ideology that they believe in. So, and they're going to do this by claiming economic growth. And that's the worst thing, right? Because it works for everything else. We need to eliminate net neutrality for economic growth. We need to eliminate, regulations that are just rules that protect workers because of economic growth. We need to eliminate EPA. We need to eliminate all these other things, all for economic growth. That's the argument that they're using. So, and they're using it to try to ban abortion. Do not fall for it. These people are hideous, by the way, and their views are straight out of the 1850s. And that's why we can never stop fighting against them. They're going to try to drag us back. We'll drag them forward, whether they want to or not. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.